Welcome to the Chip and Cern Show, the podcast about everything and nothing at the same time. They were possibly separated at birth, only to be rejoined to create the sweet sounds that will caress your deepest cochlea. The show is real, random, rant-filled, and ruthless. Please be warned that the show may hurt your feelings, offend your grandma, and even kick your dead dog in the balls. So get ready, and let's get this shit started.
This shit has started. I am Chip.
I'm Cern.
And you are listening to the Chip and Cern Show.
Yes.
Well, baseball season is wrapping up.
Sadly.
The playoffs are starting or have started.
So, in my mind, baseball playoffs mixed with football, best time of sports year.
Oh. It's not the trifecta that you have with like the NBA Finals, baseball starting, and like the Super Bowl. Or
at March Madness.
March Madness, yeah. But it's close. This episode, we are going to be talking about a article that was on the Bleacher Report here about why MLB greats think that baseball's in trouble. Quoting, "I find it very difficult to watch."
Wow. I'm interested.
Well, this is for the Hall of Fame introductions, and we had a episode along. This is like our third or fourth episode. It was called "Goose Gossage is an Ass."
Yes.
Got a lot of heat. Well, for a Chip and Cern Show episode, I got a lot of heat.
Yeah.
And he is quoted here saying, "We could sit here."
We had two opposers.
Yeah. "We could sit here and talk all day about the way the game has changed, and not in a good way. I try to watch a baseball game, and I find it very difficult to be able to watch today. It just breaks my heart to see the changes that have been made. Huge changes."
For example.
For example, Hall of Famers are not the only ones voicing their displeasure with the all-or-nothing type game. All right. The ball is not put in play roughly a third of plate appearances.
Ah, okay.
So in 31.6% of plate appearances end in a strikeout, walk, or hit batter.
Okay.
So that's just kind of boring, is what they're saying.
Okay.
The 248 MLB batting average is the lowest since 1972, the season before the AL instituted the designated hitter.
248. Holy shit.
That's not good. There have been more strikeouts than hits in a month for the first time in MLB history in April through early August.
Wow.
MLB has accumulated more strikeouts than hits overall. And then it will see basically if that will happen for a first time in a full season. There'll be more strikeouts than hits.
I didn't know that. Okay.
That's pretty crazy. The combined rate of strikeouts, walks, and home runs across a game was 33.6%. Since they first started recording these stats in 1913, there have been only 6 seasons when strikeouts, walks, and home runs have been accounted for at least 30% of all plate appearances.
So
Interesting.
basically saying swinger, it's the feast or famine. There.
Yes.
We're swinging for the fence.
The Adam Dunn approach.
Oh, yeah. And he was never I never liked his
No.
style.
Strategies like hit and run and stolen base attempt are at their lowest per game average since 1964.
I do agree. There is that
Yep.
that is gone, and the bunt is relatively extinct.
Rule changes have eliminated takeout slides at second base and the collision with catcher at home plate.
Okay.
Emotion and energy is drained from the game, one replay and administrative move at a time.
They need to cap the fucking replays, what I think.
Is it 3 or what's the 2 or what is the...
I'm not sure. I gotta look that up.
All right.
I'll look that up while we're talking.
The per game attendance has dropped to the lowest point in 15 years. The most boring game I've ever been to, and it's every night, said one scout who's been in the game for 50 years. You know exactly what's going to happen before it starts. Another scout says, the game is unbelievably bad right now. This is Bobby Cox, Hall of Fame manager for the Atlanta Braves. Big fan.
Yeah,
Every box score you read, it's 5.1 innings pitched from the starter. I bet you some guys in our box in Atlanta a buck before the game saying, what's the over for how long the pitcher lasts? 5.1. I bet the under because the starter's not going to make it. Even the American League, there's been a grand total of 24 complete games in the American League and only 10 in the National League. Wow. 10 years ago in 2008, there was 75 complete games in the AL and 61 in the NL. 10 years before that, so that would be 1998, AL pitchers had 141 complete games, NL pitchers 161.
Oh, dude, they're not going. If your pitcher goes over 6.
So what is this?
I know a lot of it's like pitch count and like they get all into. It drives me crazy when like.
Well, let me ask you, do you think the game is better now than it was 10 years ago? Or do you like 10 years ago game, which was
Our
admittedly
prime,
the steroid era?
It was our prime.
Yeah.
So I do like the 10 years ago. That was our thing. But I don't think it's too far off the reservoir there with.
And I feel that in baseball, it's such a long history. There's been the dead ball era where pitchers were really good, and then
It shifts.
the
It
steroid,
changes, you're right.
there's ebbs and flows of it. And is this just an ebb and flow of a really pitching heavy strategic
I think
area? Or is
and,
this
and
like...
also because it's like, the pitcher doesn't go a complete game, so it goes to 6, and then you get your 7th inning and your 8th inning and your 9th inning specialty guys.
Yeah.
Also kind of skews that number a little bit. I mean, I do agree there's a lot of like. So I think you remember when we were growing up, it was like 2 strikes, you choke up, and all that.
You try to put it in play, yeah.
And now it's like, fuck it, just go for it, or chick stick the long ball.
Yeah, that was totally, and that's, Giancarlo Stanton is a good example of that. Tripper Jones has a quote in here. I was trying to.
What's that guy for the A's? Chris Davis.
Yeah,
I mean, he's all in or nothing.
yeah. Mike Trout says, everyone's throwing 100 miles per hour. When I first got there was a couple of guys who threw 100, Chapman and a couple guys to close out ball games. Now you don't see anything under 93, 94.
Yeah, and before it was like, if you threw 95, you were like legit.
Yeah, you were going to be a Hall of Famer. George Brett says, if they would have shifted me back in 1980, I would have had 600. Hall of Famer Chipper Jones observed how different the game is from his last season just 6 years ago. It blows my mind that this is probably going to be the first year where there are more strikeouts and hits during the season. It leaves him perplexed. So too does the shift, but for a different reason. I hear people complaining, is this not free enterprise? Can you not put 7 guys out there on the field whenever you want them? I would have welcomed somebody putting the shift on me because I would have inside out of the heck out of them. So it just sounds like the hitters are not being very. I mean, I guess it's like what makes you money, right? And that's home runs and not really batting average, just home runs and
Strikeouts and home runs, yeah.
So if this is partially on the...
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure when Goose Gossage was playing, I'm sure fucking Ty Cobb or whoever the fucking generation before that was like, these
of
fuckers
course.
don't know how to play baseball. In my day, we spike motherfucker, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
We killed people.
Yeah.
And I don't like black people.
Yeah. We used to beat him up.
Quoted
on the street
Ty Cobb.
Yeah, whatever he used to say.
Racist fuck.
I would like to clip that out of here.
Oh yeah, that's not going to be on the soundboard, is it, Cerny?
So, I mean, I don't, so I'm sure every generation, it's just the same thing when they do like teenagers today, or it's like, okay,
right.
well, that was the same thing when you were a teenager, stuff like it.
Totally. Now, what do you think about the pitch count thing?
I mean, I understand it, but I mean, if somebody so what drives me crazy when they have like a no going, and it's like, oh, he's at like 110 pitches, we're going to yank him. It's like,
yeah,
oh,
and they're in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Yeah,
and,
leave him in. Come on, what the fuck?
Now, I do think, and Manfred is the current commissioner, so obsessed with how fast the game goes and all these efficiency metrics and, okay, let's do the pitch clock and you can't step outside the box and all this bullshit. The thing that's making the game slower is all the bullpens and the relief pitching situation. What are your sort of your thoughts on that, Cerny? Do you think they should do some sort of limitations around relievers or forcing, I don't know.
I think some also.
Or do you change the stat of like, hey, you can't get a win unless you go 7?
Oh man, maybe 6.
6? Yeah, okay.
6.
7 was aggressive.
I was like, ooh, that's deep. 6. Yeah. Also, I think they slow a lot of it down with. I mean, I know they have that clock, that run, which what
Yeah.
the fuck. But I mean, there's a lot of. Even when it's like we're gonna challenge with this, so they go out and they talk to the umpire, and it's like, and they kind of like look back at the guy, and yay or nay on the challenge. That whole shit. It's like, like in the NFL, you throw the flag, you fucking threw the flag, dude. I mean, that's kind of
Oh, yeah. Or the player slides in, looks at his manager like, oh, I was way safe. And the manager's like, oh, they like run over to the phone and pick it up. Yeah.
And some of it's like, you were way out, dude. I mean,
yeah.
I know, like, it's happening so fast. But when you're playing, it's all slow-mo, and you fucking know whether you know it.
True.
You know it.
Totally.
So they're just, trying to act the part, which then, it's like, you know what, if you're going to waste my time, charge him an out. There we go. Oh, yeah? You were wrong? You charged an out.
Oh.
There you go.
That could be interesting.
That'll slow up the challenge not.
That
You
would
better be goddamn sure.
You would
up
be
the
really
ante.
Now. I mean, my wife and I are going to our first game of the season, which is the last game of the season tomorrow.
I like it.
Are you enjoying baseball as much?
I mean, right now because the Giants suck. No,
Yeah,
but I mean,
that's true. 5 years ago, yes.
Yes. Yes. I still. I mean, even so, it's like right now the NL race. Although the Giants let us down,
it's still exciting.
As we speak, they let us down tonight.
Mm-hmm. I don't think there's any sporting event more excited than like the World Series or playoff baseball. Last year, I couldn't give two shits about the Astros or the Dodgers.
No.
That was the most fucking nerve-wracking.
And it helps when, like, for us, because we're Giants fans,
Yeah.
so the Dodgers are your
Nemesis.
enemy, and you just when you have a nemesis in, you just can't have
Right.
you can't see it happen.
Totally.
It's the worst. It's like the Patriots in the Super Bowl or the Niners.
Oh, man. Well, they won't be going this year.
Nice,
That's
yeah.
for sure.
Rip, Jimmy James. Jimmy.
Gossage is also saying umpires made calls and managers ran out to the dugout, threw bases, and kicked dirt and brought everyone out of their seats, which is whether you were for the team or against it. It was exciting. It had character. Now taking every bit of character there was in the game out of it.
No, I don't agree with. There's that they always push around that the strike zone should be electronic.
Yes.
Fuck no. I mean I don't agree with that.
Really?
At all.
Okay.
I don't agree with that at all. I mean, at least that portion should be human because each umpire had its own. They have their own strike zone.
Right.
It's part of the fucking game.
Yeah.
I don't agree with the whole electronic. There was somebody like it was on MLB Network.
Eric Burns loves the electronic strike
Oh, I
zone.
know. I've
He's
never been an Eric Burns fan.
No, he's
Never.
He's
If you mic'd up Chip and CERN, or at least CERN, circa 2003, he was bagging on Eric Burns and his horseshit play out there in the outfield as an
Oh.
Oakland A.
He was on the Aids, yes. And Diamondbacks.
Diamondbacks.
Do you think all these sabermetrics and the shift and all these
That
advanced
also hurts
stats,
it.
is
Yeah.
that hurting the game?
Yeah, I think so. When you get too much into that, well, according to our war, I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Now, so all the stats about, okay, this person hits to this side of the field and this is why we're shifting and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, a very naive person would say, well, why don't they just bunt it
Yeah.
or like try to hit it to the other side? Because I mean, how many times do you think you would have to do that before they would just like not shift on you?
Probably a few.
10 maybe?
Yeah, a dozen. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they'd be like, okay, well,
Well,
this guy's going to
he's
do
liability,
this thing.
yeah. I would do it.
So I
You
don't
swing
know.
away. Fuck.
Yeah. And then it's just, yeah. So Gossage is, he likes running his mouth, I guess.
He's crotchety. He's an old crotchety man.
He is an old codger. So what does Chip and Cern think? What are our key areas to focus on? Like, what would make baseball?
I don't know. Let me think here, because it's kind of
And now, okay, think the steroid era. That was just the bud of that. Everyone now has. There's so many supplements. Everyone has a personal trainer.
Oh, yeah.
Players are bigger, faster, stronger. So of course they're wanting to hit home runs. Like, hey, do we move the fences back more? Do we, make bigger stadiums? Because I feel like during the steroid era, all those stadiums that they were building, they were made the fields really short because there would be more home runs.
yeah.
But now it's like, well, everyone's hitting so many home runs. So then all the stadiums that built 5 years after that, they're like, well, let's reduce home runs. So let's make it.
I don't think it's like it's. I think the entertainment value is there.
Yeah.
It's just, to go to a ball game, you'll see. Obviously tomorrow,
Yeah.
Armin,
Yeah.
a fucking ladies and
$12 beer.
ladies and gentlemen,
Oh,
a Bud
sorry.
Light was $12, right? A Bud Light was $12. Not a
And like
not a
12
craft.
ounces of it too.
Not a craft.
Yeah.
It was a can.
Oh, it was a
what,
can?
What the fuck? What is that?
That is.
That you want to start putting butts in the seats? Lower your beer prices.
Okay.
Lower the beer. A Bud Light should be
No.
$6 tops.
Yeah. And that's a gift.
Yes,
That is a gift.
but pace to play. Now baseball's always been historically
slower
slow.
game, yeah.
So when there's like pace to play, maybe the whole replay thing, maybe up the ante. If you lose it, then you're gonna lose something more than just a challenge. You're gonna lose because it's like, oh fuck it, I lost a challenge or whatever.
Yeah.
big deal.
That's a good point. I like that. I think there needs to be something done, and Bochy's notorious for this. Just the fucking matchup game with the
Oh,
relievers.
yeah.
Oh, let's bring in this lefty
Lefty
for
to
this, and then
lefty.
let's bring the
Oh,
righty.
okay.
Like, you get 2 an inning,
Or
I don't know
cap
what it is, but that shit drags the games out so fucking long. But hey, it is effective.
Yeah. How many pickoffs the first base?
Oh,
they start going like,
yeah.
That's when you start booing.
Now, if I was a manager, I would be getting a couple base stealers and start to bring it back the old school way.
Oh, little Ricky Henderson shit.
Bring sign Billy Hamilton,
Oh, jeez.
and if he could get on base, send him around a couple times.
Okay.
Like you get 3 or 4 of those people on your team, you have a little scrappy ball club for yourself.
There you go.
But then I guess, hey, it only takes one guy to get on, and Stanton hits a bomb, and okay, there's 2 runs, and
Yeah,
that
but
was
what's
one swing.
what's the success rate? For him to hit a bomb.
Yeah, that's true.
Was he have like 40 or something this year out of how many ABs?
Yeah.
So, come on.
Lots
I
of
get,
Ks.
you can have a game changer. You changes the game with one swing of the bat, but what is that?
Yeah.
And again, you can knock the whole scrappy play, but it brings up a championship. Teams will start changing it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's all you need to do is if you bring home a winner.
Yeah,
teams will start
whoever
changing.
wins the World Series is like, they had 4 players on their team that had 30 stolen bases. Well, I guess next season a lot more stolen bases.
The scouts are going to the track field.
I haven't been, come to think of it, I haven't seen a non-pitcher bunt, like do a sacrifice bunt.
No, I
every
know
game.
it's almost extinct. We're the dodo.
Yeah. The poor dodo.
Yeah, dinosaurs.
Well, it is. I'm looking forward to the playoffs.
I don't think so. Am I?
Yeah.
And I do like to watch it because the
Mhm.
atmosphere is the ruckus is there.
Yes.
I don't agree with Goose again. He's still an ass.
Goose Gossage is still an ass.
2.0.
That's the episode. Goose Gossage ass 2.0.
Hey, Goose, if you got a problem, you can tweet us.
Oh yeah.
Chip and Stern Show.
Fire up that Twitter account, old man.
If you don't have Twitter, you can Facebook us. Chip and Stern Show. If you don't have Facebook, you can email us. ChipandCernShow.com.
Wow. Oh, you
Actually-
gotta preface that. He'll like try to
ChipandCernShow
do-
at gmail.com.
We'll
Sorry.
do
Sorry,
something
Goose.
else.
Sorry, Goose. And if you want to mail us a letter, email us first at ChipandCernShow.com.
If you want to write us a letter, P.O. Box.
No. Anything Chip and Cern Show, just reach out to us. Google Chip and Cern Show will pop up. We have Instagram,
Yes.
Facebook, Twitter. Chip and Cern Show at gmail.com would be our email.
Yes, it would.
And if Goose, you want to wear a Chip and Cern Show lid while sending us hate mail, chipandcernshow.com/shop.
Very good, Cerny. Very good. That is a good ball cap for the
It is
ballpark or the NFL stadium or
golf
wherever
course,
you're going.
wherever you're going. As we wore plenty of times golf.
Yes, we have. Well, I still enjoy baseball.
So do I.
It has some improvements to be made, I guess, or there's some opportunity.
There's opportunity
but
for
it's
improvement.
Still a very
solid.
solid sport. And until next time, I'm Chip.
I'm Cern.
Cheers.